Hi Aries, welcome to your weekly check-in for the 19th to the 25th of November. These messages are for Aries, Sun, Moon or Rising. If you're unfamiliar with those terms or you just want to look at your birth chart in general, there's a link in the description box for a website that can help you out with that. I'd just like to say thank you to everyone who watches the videos, likes, shares, comments, subscribes to the channel. It's all appreciated. If you want to book a personal reading, please see the information in the description box below the video for that as well. So these are the oracle decks I'm going to be using for today's reading. We're going to begin with the Goddesses, Gods and Guardians oracle card to give our theme, or your theme, should I say, for the week. So let's get started. So what does Aries need to know as their main theme for the 19th to the 25th of November, please? What's Aries' main theme for the 19th to the 25th of November? Nope, that's far too many, so we'll try that again. So what is Aries' main theme for the 19th to 25th of November, please? Do you have a lot going on, Aries? Is that why so many cards came out? Let's see if we can just get you one. Just one message for Aries, please. Okay, right. So you have Butterfly Maiden, which is that one. And it says beautiful change. So that's your main theme. I'm just going to get you tarot cards and then I will have a look in the book to decide if I need to read all of it or not. So I'm using the Everyday Witch Tarot for your theme from the tarot. Just check if that's blurred, because I know sometimes it's blurred and I don't realise I'm there talking for like 2 minutes with a blurred screen. Okay, so what's Aries' main theme from the tarot as well? Right, so you have the Three of Cups. Okay. The first thing I'm getting is there may be a change in terms of your interactions with other people. But let's carry on and see what else comes up. So let's look at your energy specifically. Right, you've got the Ace of Pentacles, but I'm going to try that again because it was a weird flip that didn't feel right. So what's Aries' energy specifically? The Tower. Yep, okay. I mean, that is a card of change, isn't it? Any external or surrounding energy, so it could be people, it could be, or a person, it could be an energy around you that's creating any kind of blockage or that's pushing you to do something, so like planetary alignments or something like that. Anything else? It could be a situation, so external or surrounding energies. Right, we've got the Two of Swords and it's in reverse. The thought that's coming to mind is change your point of view with that coming out like that. And I don't know why. That's a bit of an unusual, okay, yep, change your point of view, possibly. Right, any guidance? And you have the Knight of Wands, okay. So let's have a look in the book at this Butterfly Maiden Beautiful Change card. So it says, right, I am going to read this. Yeah, I'm going to read it. These messages aren't excessively long. I'll read all of it. It says, keep your thoughts positive. Rejuvenation is in the air. Butterfly Maiden is a Hopi, I don't know if I've pronounced that correctly, so I'm sorry if I've butchered it. Hopi, American Indian, Kachina, and I may have butchered that too, hopefully not, or spirit being who links the human and divine worlds. She's a fertility and regeneration goddess who governs springtime. Butterfly Maiden, Kachina dolls. I thought I recognized that. Yeah, there was something about it that looked really familiar. Yeah, the dolls are given to Hopi children to connect them with traditional values. In Hopi culture, the yearly butterfly dance gives ceremonial thanks to the butterfly for pollinating plants and offers up prayers for rain and long life. Additionally, it's an important initiation rite for young girls. Butterfly Maiden embodies the energy of renewal, optimism, and positive change. Right, okay. It says, Butterfly Maiden comes to uplift you today as she sees you might be getting stuck in persistent negative thoughts. And I said, change your point of view, didn't I, with that 2 of Swords? Okay. Maybe you're thinking that nothing will ever change for the better. Perhaps you've been through challenges and this has taken a toll on your mental, emotional, and physical health. Butterfly Maiden offers you one of her many colourful butterflies and says, can you imagine yourself as this beautiful butterfly? What colour are its wings? This is a healing colour that will renew your dampened spirit. You've been cocooned or even stuck, but now's the time to expect a glorious change. By consciously choosing positive thoughts, you can renew your outlook and draw in good energy. Keep focused on how you want to feel, what you'd love to experience, and believe it can be so. There's a need for change and renewal in your life, pure and simple. Maybe you'd love a new job or a refreshed decor in your home. Perhaps a change of scenery, a new hobby, or revitalized social life. That could be, remember I mentioned there may be a change in something to do with your interactions with people, because 3 of Cups is social, so kind of friendship, that sort of thing. And that Knight of Wands can be an indicator to be more social as well, can't it? Although I think for Aries, I think we do tend to think of Aries as reasonably social, do we? I don't know, share your opinions on that if you want to in the comments. I mean, I know the Aries I know are they are very sociable and quite friendly, so I don't know. Or it could be an overhaul of your entire set of circumstances that's on the horizon. See the butterfly I've sent you as a symbol of metamorphosis and fresh experiences. You're approaching a time of wondrous change. Embrace it with open wings. Additional meanings, your positive efforts will pay off very soon. Say yes to this opportunity or invitation. Appreciate the beauty that surrounds you daily. And the invocation says, change is good for me. I expect the best. I mean, I would say with the tower at the heart of things, your energy specifically, it looks like either you are changing or you're feeling forced to change at the very least, because yeah, that's a big energy, the tower there. So let's look at clarifiers. So as I said, the 3 of Cups, it is a card of friendship, community, support, socializing. But then the 7 of Wands, I mean, it's kind of where you're having to stand up for something, and where you may even feel like you're being attacked potentially. So let's get the clarifiers out and see what that says. So what do we need to know for the 3 of Cups and the 7 of Wands, please? Okay, 3 of Cups, 7 of Wands. What else do we need to know for Aries for that? You might be changing your social group actually, or networking differently, networking with different people. But I would say it probably is more social. I mean, that card mentioned social, something about social or socializing. And then for me, the Knight of Wands, yeah, he is someone who goes off on his own adventure, but I would say he's like the party boy or something, or party girl, party boy. It's that kind of energy. So we'll have to see what comes up with that, won't we? I mean, could it be that you know a lot of people, but is it that people are you kind of have acquaintances, but it's more for business purposes, you know, like you can have people that know hundreds of people, but who are their real friends out of that? Is it just like everybody is a connection or a networking opportunity? Are there any real friends there? Or it could be vice versa, that you need to network better, something to that effect. But let's see, as I've talked so much rather than getting the clarifiers out. 3 of Cups, 7 of Wands. So you've got the Hermit. Okay, I mean, that's someone who keeps to themselves, isn't it? We talk about Hermit mode quite a lot. Right, okay. I mean, it can be about introspection as well, or it is about introspection, but it could also be, where you're keeping yourself, like you might be controlled or selective about how you interact with people. Again, going back to that example of, are the people you know friends, or are they networking opportunities? I'm going to try that. Shall I try that again? You know, no, I'm going to keep that because I can see what the relevance of this. Right, the Lover's there. So yes, it can be about romantic love and a powerful deep connection. But I see the lovers in general, it's profound connections with people, isn't it? And it doesn't have to be romantic. It can be a profound connection with your best friend, with your child, with your parent, with your sibling, whoever, with your pet even. I mean, yeah, it can be. That's profound connection. Temperance for me, it can be connection as well, but like it can be profound connection, but it's like harmonious connection. That wouldn't be about networking. That would be you enjoy someone's company, and you connect with them in that way. And yes, it is associated with harmony, moderation, that sort of thing as well. But bearing in mind the other stuff that's come up, it could be speaking to you about thinking about the connections that you have with people in whatever capacity that is, and the meaning of that and the depth of that. Is there any depth there, or is it superficial? So let's have a look. And sometimes it's not something that you make a conscious choice about. It's just, that's just how it is, isn't it? Like, say if you're someone that works all the time, you're very busy and you're very focused on your work, then it may leave little time for you to have profound connections. So your connections will probably be work-based or career-based, wouldn't they? Or sometimes it is deliberate, that you maybe you don't trust people, and it's like, yeah, you know, I'm just going to keep my distance. Yep, we can get together for whatever is beneficial in terms of work, career, or whatever. But yeah, I don't want anybody getting too close. So let's see what else comes out for that. Right, so we've got the World there. So it might be asking you, again, it's that change and considering how you can change that, or if you need to change that. Ooh, and then the Six of Cups. So it is about, it's past, isn't it? It can be memories. This can be talking about childhood and thinking about how were friendships for you when you were a child? Did you have genuine friendships when you were a child? Yeah, I'm getting childhood friendship from that. So let's have a look at, right, I think, let me get one just for the Hermit on its own. Although I feel like that's just, it may be that you're thinking about this, but also I think it's sort of saying, are you keeping to yourself too much? And that doesn't mean physically, as I said. It can be that you're around a lot of people, but how profound are the connections? How deep are those connections? Are they meaningful? Are they superficial? So we've got Justice there. So, I mean, that's about fairness and balance, isn't it? Justice. What else for the Hermit, please? We've got the Magician. Okay, so that Magician can be about confidence. It can also be, that can be a card of communication as well, actually. Let's see what follows on from the Magician, because that might give us a better hint. Oh, okay. This one for me, I mean, Six of Wands is a card of victory, but for me, I often feel like it can be about uprising. It can be about being seen. It can be about accolades. It can be about respect. So yeah, there is a consideration here of how much of yourself are you giving to relationships, to connections, to profound connections, or to make connections deeper. What are your expectations? What do you want? Do you want things to just be on a superficial is the only word I can think of, and superficial, it can be superficial as in, you know, like not fake friends necessarily, but people that it's just not that deep with. Like, you'll party with them, but you know you don't really give a shit beyond like going to a party with them or something like that. But just superficial as in how much do you let people in? How much do you let them see the real you? Or is it that you would just prefer for them to see the image that you present? Because Aries is a sign that is about identity, isn't it, as well? Who knows the real you in your life? Who are the people that know the real you? Do you know the real you? That's a question I would take into consideration with that as well. So let's look at the World as well. Do you let people see your vulnerable side? Because you might let them see the confident side, the successful side of you, the fun side, etc. But do they get to see the vulnerable parts of you? Are there parts of you that you feel like you don't want people to see, that you feel like you need to keep hidden for whatever reason? Consider that. And we've got the World there, so with clarified by the Page of Swords. So I said this was about thinking about how you can, it's like a new chapter, isn't it? Starting anew, doing something differently, completing one cycle, going into another one. You've got the Page of Swords there. It can be about new truth. So maybe this is where you've got a new truth about how you want to interact with people. It can also be where you need more information. Like, do you need to discover more about yourself and your identity? Do you need to let others discover more about you, is something that comes to mind with that as well. So let's get something else for the world. Ooh, so we've got the Hangman. I mean, that is another card of deep transformation, isn't it? That is deep transformation. But it's also, it mentioned, I'm pretty sure it mentioned cocooning. Yeah, it's a butterfly. It mentioned cocoon. Is the cocoon about you transforming, or is the cocoon that, again, are you keeping parts of yourself kind of hidden and protected that you don't want people to see? You've got the Empress there. So there's a few ways I'm looking at this Empress. So the Empress could be going forward. Again, she's a generous person, the Empress is. She's very generous and she's very open. And it's kind of, I imagine that with the Empress, it's kind of like what you see is what you get. Again, that reference to hiding parts of yourself. How many people see the real you? With the Empress also, the other side of it I'm getting is the image. What image are you portraying? And I suppose it does reference the whole, what parts of yourself are you hiding again? But yeah, those are things to take into consideration about how much you're showing all the parts of yourself. And I mean, it doesn't mean everybody has to see every single part of you, but in life I think we are here to have profound relationships with certain people, even if it's one person. Do you have that? And it's not to say everybody has to have a best friend. I mean, I don't have a best friend. Well, actually, no, that's a lie. I'm my own best friend. I've had to be my own best friend because I've kind of kept to myself a lot. It's not that I'm not capable of socializing. I'm 100% capable of socializing, but I'm a bit of an oddball in terms of connecting people on deeper levels. Like, I have family members that I'm deeply connected to, and they see all the parts of me, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything. But like, outside of those people that I'm very close to, that are blood, yeah, there's not many people that see everything. And I have been coming out of myself a bit more and showing all sides, not just the side that looks capable and whatever and put together and together. But yeah, I get it. People don't have to know every single thing about us, but we get to choose. If you feel like you've come into crossed paths with someone who you feel that you really value and appreciate, and you're on the same wavelength or something like that, with that particular person, imagine that, or people, are they getting you as a complete version of you, or are they still only getting fragmented parts of you? Right, okay, let's look at the Six of Cups quickly. I've spent ages on that, haven't I? I think I've got used to it now, that for some reason I spent ages on the like the main theme, and then as I go through the rest of it, less and less, because I've spent so much time on that, I've kind of covered everything. So Six of Cups, let's have a look at that. I said childhood friendships came to mind there. Thinking back to when you were a child, did you have genuine and profound connections then? And I mean, I don't know, I think kids are, it's a funny one with kids, isn't it? Because they can have friendships with anyone, for the most part. I suppose it depends on what kind of child, but thinking of kids in general, you think of kids having profound connections with anyone. When I say profound with kids, it just means, it's not necessarily that they have deep conversations, but it's meaningful to them, isn't it? It can be very meaningful, and it's just very pure. There's very pure intentions a lot of the time, not all the time, because we know kids can be cruel as well, but for the most part, especially when they're really little, it's just very pure, the way they go into it. So that in itself is very profound. But right, we've got Eight of Swords. So there may be something in your childhood here, to do with friendships, where you've felt held back in some sort of way, or maybe you've had expectations put upon you by family, peers, whatever. Let's get one more. Maybe you feel you've had to present yourself in a certain way, and you have had to hide the real you for whatever reason. So we've got the King of Swords. So I'm just going to put that, oh God, here we go with this authority figure stuff again. Right, Two of Swords. And it's in reverse again, isn't it? Because we had the Two of Swords in reverse there. Okay, let me look at this. King of Swords. So that can be an authority figure. And I would say, because it's with the Six of Cups, which I'm getting sort of a childhood vibe from, I would say that King of Swords is an authority figure. It keeps showing up as an authority figure. It is about knowledge as well, and truth and that sort of thing, but it feels more like an authority figure. You've got the Two of Swords here. So this can be about two truths. It can be about blockages as well. Have you felt in your childhood that there's someone that's put expectations upon you about how you're supposed to behave and interact with people? That's the question that is coming to mind here. Because the Two of Swords in reverse, it's a weird one. It's kind of like in reverse, it would be where you kind of come out of a phase of confusion or something. But I don't know, you've got the Eight of Swords there. It's like, it almost feels like wanting to show your true self or being your true self, but then you've got someone there that sort of, you know, like if you're a little kid, you're free, you do whatever you want, and then you've got someone around you, whether it's a parent, aunt, big brother, sister, whatever, who's like, nope, you can't do that, you can't be yourself, it's weird, or it's inappropriate, or just something there that sort of holds you back a bit. I'm going to leave that there because I've gone through that enough. But those are all questions you need to ask yourself. And do you want to change your interactions, your social interactions with people? Where do you want to take that? How do you want to go forward with that? So the Tower, your energy, change, transformation, or feeling the pressure to change or transform. So I'm just putting the cards back in the deck. Do you feel like you're allowed to be vulnerable? I would say is another question that comes to mind. Or have you sort of grown up in an environment where, you know, the ones where you're not allowed to cry, stuff like that. Things like that come to mind. Or you may have grown up in a very strict environment where, yeah, you just don't feel like you can be yourself. So the Tower, what's going on with you with this Tower card? Why is the Tower there for Aries? Right, we've got the King of Cups. Wow, okay. The King of Cups is known to be someone who feels very deeply and profoundly, but often can keep emotions to themselves. Like they can be very nurturing and warm to others. Very sensitive as well, but keeps a lot to themselves until they're ready to let it out. And then you've got the Seven of Pentacles next to it. That is it worth it energy. So there very well could be something about you where you may feel a certain way about things or have a certain side of yourself where it's like, oh, I don't know if it's worth expressing that or showing that side of myself. So let's see what follows on from that. But there may be something that's changing. Okay, I'm gonna put that back and try that again. The change may be that you can see, maybe you've never considered showing a certain side of yourself before, and now you're like, you know what, I actually feel like I want to let it be free, liberate it. So that Tower card, anything else for that? Right, we're going with those. So we have the Death card. Again, it's just transformation, isn't it? Eight of Wands. Do you feel like you'll progress more in life if you express a certain part of yourself or show a certain part of yourself? Let's get one more. Or is there something about needing to communicate differently or communicate something about yourself? Let's try that again. Right, so we've got the Five of Wands. So that it tells me that you may be feeling kind of conflicted, or you're concerned about some sort of conflict if you express something about yourself. Let's look at that Eight of Wands and see what that is. Right, it's emotions, isn't it? And then you've got the Queen of Pentacles. That these two are very, like, they're the most nurturing. I would say they're probably, aside from the Empress, obviously, the most nurturing cards in the deck. Is it something about vulnerability, emotions, your nurturing side? Do you feel that you can't, that you have to put on like a persona of toughness with people? Have you been through a rough time? So it's like, well, no, I can't show the vulnerability because then people take the piss. You know, if you've grown up in a tough environment, that's a reason why that could happen. But are you sort of feeling now like you want to open up and show the softer side? And it could be just socializing. It could even be in romantic relationships as well, where you may be concerned about showing vulnerability there too. So the Eight of Wands, let's look at that. Anything else with the Eight of Wands? and that would be the toughness, wouldn't it? That tough exterior where you're able to stand up for yourself, which that's great. There's no problem with that whatsoever. We should all be able to stand up for ourselves. But then there's more to you than that, isn't there? There's more to you than just being someone that can stand up for themselves. I'm going to look at that Five of Wands as well. Let's see, why is that Five of Wands there? That was sort of conflicts, isn't it? Conflicts, challenges. Have you had to face so many challenges that you've kind of lost the softer side of yourself, if that makes sense? And that would be the softer side of yourself, the Empress. So you've got all of the three most vulnerable, well, nurturing, should I say, not vulnerable, because I would say the Page of Cups could potentially be the most vulnerable card in the deck. You've got the three most nurturing people in the deck. Maybe that's something that you need to, you're considering that you need to be more nurturing, possibly towards yourself and towards others, both, maybe. Let's see what else comes up after the Empress card. So we have, and the nurturing thing, it can be for men or women. Obviously, it's individual to you. What is nurturing to you? For some people, it is giving out hugs and stuff like that. For some people, it's pep talks. There can be different parts to being nurturing. For some, it can be practical. I've talked a lot about the King of Pentacles recently in the deck, where we look at him as a very solid, committed, financially abundant personality. But then I keep saying he's the partner, he's the husband, I'm assuming, of the Queen of Pentacles, and she is very, very nurturing. So he's the King of Pentacles is known to be generous, isn't he? So to me, that in itself says, yes, he may be very practical, but to me, he's like very nurturing. He's like that masculine side of being nurturing as well. Supportive, I would say, probably would be the bigger word for masculine. For a masculine person who's nurturing, but it's individual to you. You know, you don't have to follow rules with certain things. Yeah. So you've got the Two of Cups there. This is a connection again. So like the Lovers, was the Lovers here? You know, when I do these readings, it all rolls into one sometimes and I forget what I've seen because you just look at so many cards. I believe the Lovers came out somewhere, probably here. It's a connection again, but it's in reverse, isn't it? So this is where you share your cup with another person. So what is your cup? It's who you are. It's how you feel. It's sharing that with another person, but it's in reverse. It's understanding each other. That's in reverse. So again, in terms of your interactions with people, do you need to show more of a nurturing and vulnerable side of yourself to connect better on a deeper, more profound level, whether it is in friendships or whatever? So you've got the Devil there. That's a card of holding back, isn't it? That goes there, doesn't it? It's a card of holding back, and it can be a card of fears as well. Does fear or worry of any kind hold you back from showing that side of yourself? Let's get one more for the Devil. No, I don't know. No, nothing came out there. Let's just get one more next to the Devil. So we've got the Three of Wands there. I'll get one more because the Three of Wands for me typically it can be about intention. Okay, that Three of Wands is about putting your energy out, isn't it? And what energy you get back. There may be you may take into consideration quite a lot about what energy you put out and what you're going to get back. What do you think is going to happen if you show your softer side? You know, what do you think will happen there? Or maybe it's telling you that if you put that energy out, then you'll get that back. But let's see. So we've got the Knight of Wands following on from that. I'm going to get one more because I'm not 100% clear yet. It's definitely about the energy that you put out. So you now got the Knight of Pentacles and the Sun card. So this energy, that would be the fun party girl or party boy side again. The Knight of Pentacles would be the practical energy. So the Sun can be about potential and it can be about happiness. What do you feel? I think the only question I can ask here or think I can say here is, if there's more of a balance needed in the way that you interact and communicate with people, what do you feel what needs to be balanced? Like, what is there? Think about what is there too much of? What is it that is too much of what you're showing about yourself that needs to? It's not pull back, but how would I put it? Say if you've always gotten an image of being happy and cheery and whatever, no matter how crap you're feeling with the people that are closest to you. I mean, obviously when you go to work and that, you are going to probably put on a bit of a mask anyway, aren't you? Because not everybody needs to know your business. But like with your closest friends, if you are feeling like absolute shit, do you always try to put on an image of being positive and, oh, I'm fine, there's nothing going on, blah, blah, blah? Do you need to balance that out a bit with the people that are closest to you and admit when you're feeling like shit and allow them to support you? You know what I mean? Or is it an image? Is there something here? Because we've got the party boy thing. Do you kind of, there's something about, not, I don't think it's being taken seriously, but you know when you have friends that they kind of always make jokes. It's along the same lines of putting on an image of always being happy. It's that where they could be completely depressed, but they always just brush it off with jokes, which there's nothing wrong with cracking jokes when you're depressed. I've been depressed many times in my life, and I think I've come to a decent balance where I can crack jokes about it and admit how shit I'm feeling at the same time. For the most part, you know, I mean, it's an ongoing process, isn't it, trying to deal with stuff like that? But, you know, you've got the friends that are too jokey no matter what's going on as well. Then you've got people that can be far too serious as well. And maybe you need to balance that out by being a little bit more lighthearted, or again, that thing about being too career focused and not having enough time to play and have fun and have profound connections with people. Think about is there more of a balance in how you present yourself and show up with the people that are closest to you, or even in terms of wanting to build closer, more profound connections? So I'm going to leave that there because I know it's quite a lot to take in, isn't it? But as I say, it looks like there's something you're holding back, a part of yourself or a side of yourself that you may be holding back in terms of the way you interact with people that would show the real you. And again, as I said, it's not about you have to show everybody your business or tell everybody your business. But if there's people that you're close to or that you want to build profound connections with, you are going to need to be yourself, the complete package of yourself. Not, you know, you can continue if you want to show parts of yourself and bits and pieces, but then how deep and meaningful and genuine will that connection be if you're only showing parts of yourself? And you might say, oh, well, they're only showing parts of themselves to me. But then why does that determine how you present yourself? Why do you have to mirror them? You know what I mean? And if you show your real self and you still feel like you're not getting much back from them, then does that need to be addressed as well? But anyway, let's move on to that Two of Swords, because I said that was an energy. So that might be an energy around you that's kind of, it's sort of pushing you to change your point of view, or it could be your response. Like I think earlier we saw something where there was an authority figure with that King of Swords, was it? That kind of might have made you feel uncertain about who you are and expressing who you are as well. Either way, it's sort of an energy that's kind of pushing you to look at that. So why is the Two of Swords there, please? Right, I wasn't actually going to take any of that, but look what's like flipped. We've got the Queen of Swords and the King of Swords as well. That's really interesting. And I think, have I put those upside down? No, I haven't. Right, so Queen of Swords, King of Swords. And what was I just talking? I was talking about mirroring, wasn't I? Okay, let's see what else comes after those two. Oh, now we have the Queen of Cups. We've got loads of people here. I think I know. Yeah, I can see what's developing here. All right, lost a couple of cards down there. I think I'll try that again. But what I can see so far already. So you've got that you've got the authoritarian figure. So you might be kind of mirroring someone in your life, and that's why you are the way you are, because you've mirrored someone that you've grown up with potentially. But then, just bear with me a minute, we've got that Queen of Cups. That's more of that nurturing, softer energy, isn't it? She'd be less judgmental I mean, the Queen of Swords is great. She knows her truth and she invites others to see her truth as well. But she does have the potential to be judgmental, along with the King of Swords as well. They're great, they're logical. They're all about truth, but they could potentially be judgmental. The Queen of Cups, I don't think she'd ever be judgmental. On the negative side, she has the potential to be emotionally manipulative, but judgmental, no. And then that Nine of Wands, that's a defensive, protective energy, and it's next to the Queen of Cups. So again, are you concerned about revealing more of the certain emotions? Because you might not hide all emotions, but there might be a particular, or there might be a particular matter that's going on in your life where you're afraid to show emotions about that, or you're concerned about showing emotions about that. So let's get a final one for this. Right, King of Wands, why are you here? So we've got the King of Wands. I mean, he's a strongly expressive energy, isn't he? Like, he'll let it all out. I don't think there's anything that he would hide to himself or keep to himself. He's just very passionate and would fully express what he's passionate about. I'm going to look at that King of Swords on its own, just out of curiosity. But I think, as I say, I think it's just the energy of telling you that, do you need to change your point of view on how you express yourself or what you show of yourself, etc. See, that's, again, that's that energy. It could be someone that you've mirrored, where it kind of put you in two minds about how much you share of yourself, the energy that you put out, because it's once again, isn't it? It's energy. Anything else? Empress, again, nurturing energy. You may have felt like you couldn't show the more nurturing, vulnerable side of yourself. So I'm going to leave those there, and we're going to move on to the advice. You may have even become, if you've got children, you may have had a strict parent or strict parents, and you may have kind of become that as well, potentially. That doesn't make you a bad parent necessarily, but yeah, that's something that's come to mind too. Let's look at that Knight of Wands. So that's your advice. I mean, first thing I would say about that I did mention party girl, party boy. He's like freedom of expression in a card, isn't he? Basically, he's not going to hold back from anything. He's going to do what he wants, say what he wants, feel how he wants. Yes, it could go to the extreme of being potentially insensitive for a start, and irresponsible. But if you're in a state where, okay, yeah, if you're in that where you're already restricted by rules, then to balance that out, the Hierophant, you would need that. I mean, this Hierophant card is such a weird card. I've said it a million times. It literally gives me S&M vibes. Yeah, it gives me S&M vibes, but it's quite a controlling Hierophant card, because it can be a spiritual teacher. The Hierophant, it can relate to institutions like universities, the government, that sort of thing. But he's got is it a whip? It's literally like a whip and a book, where he's and they're submissive to this. This is a quite pretty dark Hierophant card, to be honest. This is the dark side of the Hierophant. This isn't the lovely spiritual leader that guides you and helps you. This is like the dark side, where this is a cult leader type thing. I'm not saying, I mean, that could be relevant to someone actually, and that could be partly why you are the way you are. But cult leader stuff aside, this is the energy, that authoritarian energy, authority figure, that it's like, this is the book, these are the rules, here's my whip, don't follow the rules and you get the whip. Basically, they're submissive, they're naked, they're vulnerable. So it's like you need that sense of freedom to express to kind of balance out this energy here. So anything else for that Knight of Wands? And I know Aries can potentially be seen as a rebel as well, but then are you this energy, this Hierophant energy, where it may not be someone else who's this, you know, these are the rules and here's the whip if you don't follow them. It may be something in your own mind where it's like, no, this is the way I have to act, this is the way I have to present, this is the way I have to be. And you kind of punish yourself mentally if you deviate from that. That's a possibility as well. Right, so you've got the moon here in reverse, and the moon, it can be about fears, it can be about what's hidden. It can be about hidden emotions as well. It's like, do you need this Knight of Wands energy, this energy of sense of freedom and not giving a shit about what anybody thinks, to sort of free whatever emotions you need to free? And I know that Aries can be known, again, I've said, as being a rebel, doing what they want, not really worrying about what people think of them. But then when it comes to the vulnerable, softer emotional side, which I swear if you drink a shot every time I say any of those words, yep, hammered by the end of the reading. When it comes to the softer side of yourself, is that where you're holding back potentially? So anything else for that Knight of Wands? Do you need to show sensitivity to other people as well? Like, remember what I said about, you know, if you've got a friend who always makes jokes every time anything serious comes up, is it possible that that's something you do as well? Like, it's not to say that you don't care about your friends or whoever you're close to, but do you try to take the seriousness out of situations? Like if a friend came to you and said, God, I'm really depressed, man, and you just started I'm not cracking jokes about them, but like trying to distract them with jokes, it's like, do you need to change your approach to them and kind of not be, does it kind of make you very uncomfortable if someone opens up to you like that? You know what I mean? Can you handle if someone comes to you with that kind of shit, or do you just want to kind of escape from the situation? Are you able to sort of sit there if someone comes and tells you how depressed they feel and how down they feel and shows signs that could be considered, I'm not saying they are weak or weaknesses, but things that could be considered to be weaknesses? Do you shy away from that kind of stuff? So anything else? Nine of Swords, that would be where somebody's anxious and depressed, wouldn't it? Well, it doesn't have to be depressed, but at the very least anxious, concerned, worried. Do you hide that part of yourself and kind of try to move away from it when other people are in that energy as well? And then you've got the Emperor, who can be known, I mean, it's an Aries card, it can be known. Yes, there's someone who's very powerful, very in control, achieves a lot, but can be quite stern as well. Like, yeah, who kind of wants to go to the Emperor for counseling? Do you know what I mean? That's not the count. Like the King of Cups would be someone that could be in a counseling sort of role, or a therapist. Not to say that the Emperor couldn't, but in terms of if you want sympathy and you want softness and you want to feel comforted, then you would go to the King of Cups, Queen of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, the Empress. The Emperor, I think, would be the last person on your list that you would think, I want to hug. You know, I know that sounds a bit harsh, but if we're going by stereotypes and the sternness comes into it, you know. And then do you do that for yourself as well when you're vulnerable? Do you kind of mentally give yourself a hug, or do you kind of, how do you react when you're feeling like that? Are you kind of like, nope, just stiff up a lip or whatever it is, pull your boots up, get on with it, no time to sort of dwell on feeling sad, basically, or whatever it is you're feeling? And I know this reading is quite long, so I'm going to wrap it up now. We've got one more. We have the Magician. This is the power to change, isn't it? It's the power to change with that Magician card, and also the capability to deal with any situation. If you are someone who shies away from vulnerability and stuff like that, it's like, well, it may be uncomfortable, but you can do it, you can handle it. You just got to adapt and learn how to address that and how to accept it, rather than kind of just brushing it off and be like, oh, you know what, no, I'm not going to deal with that, I'm just going to pull my bootstraps up and get on with it kind of attitude. So I'm going to leave that there. I think that's enough. That's enough there. So we're just going to get a final oracle card. I think yours might be the longest reading for the week, or a weekly check-in, but I say what I feel needs to be said. I just try to honor the message, and yeah. So any other messages or a final message for Aries for the week, please? Final messages for Aries, please. We have Trust the Great Mystery. That is a really weird card to get for this, but let's have a look. So it's that one there, and I'll read the whole message. I don't know how relevant this is actually going to be to anything I've just said, but let's see if I can actually find the message in the book. So it says, Whale spirit is an ancient creature who was here at the beginning of time and who has seen everything, felt everything, and heard everything that has ever transpired on this planet. In the hidden realms where all things must gather first before manifesting into form, whale spirit is the keeper, singing the soul of the whole world from the deepest waters of the coldest seas. When whale spirit appears, it is a reminder that there is a great mystery that you must accept without intellectually trying to understand it. Okay, so, right, I'll continue. Some things cannot be known by the mind, only experienced through the heart, through intuition, and through the peripheral senses that part the invisible veil separating the visible world from the great manifesting consciousness in the hidden realms. Now is the time for you to immerse yourself in the great mystery of spirit and to trust that within the invisible, what you can't see now are the seeds of your intentions being tended to by angels. So I remember I said at the beginning that about there was something with the, I believe it was the Eight of Wands, where I said something about maybe you're getting to a point where you feel like you need to share a part of yourself or a different part of yourself to progress. So that could be like showing a more vulnerable side of yourself or showing certain emotions or something like that could you feel like that could help you to progress. Maybe you've gone as far as you can. It's like, now I'm going to have to do something differently now. That could come in here. It talks about I think there may be something here because we've seen the King of Swords come up so much about logic, and maybe you are someone who, because emotions aren't logical or practical, you kind of brush them aside. That's a possibility here as well. Anyway, protection message. Certainty is not offered to you right now. You are being asked to trust the process of co-creation. While whale spirit reminds you that your primary reality is not that of the material world, but that of the realm of spirit, from which the essence of your dreams and desires take shape before arriving as a specific form. You must trust absolutely that what will come will be for the highest awareness and allow the hidden realms to hold your intentions safely until it is time for them to manifest in the realm of form. Let go, for you will not be left behind. Some things take longer than others to arrive. So I think take this how you will, but the thing I'm getting from this as well, remember when I said about in terms of you might mirror people as well, where you think, oh well, they're not showing their vulnerable side to me, so why should I show it to them? It's sort of trusting that even if you do show that side of yourself to the relevant people, that something good will come of it. Even if you don't get what you want, you'll learn from the experience, won't you? And you know, hopefully you will attract people who you can connect with more profoundly. But I'm going to leave your message, your very, very long message there for a weekly. Thank you for watching the video. Hopefully something there was helpful for you. Feel free to like, share and comment on the video, and feel free to subscribe to the channel too. If you'd like a personal reading, please see the description box again for information on how to do that. And until the next video, Aries, Sun, Moon or Rising, take care.